How narcissists pick their targets. You thought you were special, and in a way, you were, but not in the way you hoped. Narcissists don't choose their targets randomly. They don't fall into relationships by accident. They hunt, deliberately, patiently, and with a very specific type of person in mind. Understanding how they choose and why you might have been chosen is the first step to making sure it never happens again. Before we get into how they choose, it helps to understand what a narcissist actually needs. At their core, narcissists require what psychologists call narcissistic supply, a constant flow of attention, admiration, validation, and emotional reaction. They need people who will provide that supply reliably, generously, and without asking for too much in return. That changes everything about how you see their targeting. They're not looking for love. They're looking for fuel. There are 3 types of people narcissists consistently target, and the traits they look for are not weaknesses. They're actually qualities that, in a healthy relationship, would be assets. 1. Empathetic people. Empathy is the narcissist's most valuable resource. An empathetic person feels deeply, gives generously, and instinctively tries to understand and soothe the people around them. To a narcissist, this is a perfect supply source. You'll try to understand their behavior instead of leaving. You'll absorb blame without immediately defending yourself. You'll prioritize their feelings even when your own needs aren't being met. Empathy, one of the most beautiful human qualities, becomes the primary entry point. 2. People with high standards and strong values. This one surprises most people. Narcissists are often drawn to people who are successful, principled, and respected, partly because conquering someone impressive feels like a bigger win, but also because your integrity becomes a mirror, and narcissists are obsessed with their own reflection. They want to be seen with you. They want to absorb your qualities, and they want the challenge of breaking down someone who initially seems hard to control. 3. People with unhealed wounds around abandonment or worthiness. This is the most exploited entry point. Narcissists are extraordinarily good at reading emotional history. If you grew up in an environment where love felt conditional, where you had to earn affection, or where chaos felt normal, a narcissist will feel strangely familiar. The push and pull, the hot and cold, the moments of intense connection followed by distance. It doesn't feel like abuse, it feels like home. And that's the trap. Once a narcissist identifies a target, the approach follows a predictable pattern. It starts with love bombing, an overwhelming flood of attention, affection, compliments, and intensity. They make you feel like the most important person in the world. They move fast. They create intimacy before it's been earned. And it feels extraordinary because it's designed to. This phase is deliberate. They're building dependency before revealing who they actually are. By the time the mask starts slipping, the criticism, the control, the hot and cold, you're already attached, you've already invested, and your brain is chasing the feeling of that early phase, convinced it's still in there somewhere. It isn't. That person was never real. So what do you do with this? Not shame, not self-blame. The traits that made you a target, empathy, depth, capacity for love, are not the problem. The problem was someone who chose to exploit them. Strategy 1. Trust the pace. Healthy relationships build gradually. If someone is moving unusually fast, creating intense intimacy, before you've had time to actually know them, slow down. Intensity is not the same as depth. Strategy 2. Watch for consistency. Narcissists are consistent in cycles, not in character. Notice whether someone is reliably kind, not just occasionally spectacular. The highest highs often come paired with the lowest lows. That's not passion. That's a pattern. Strategy 3. Protect your empathy. It's not something to suppress, but it's something to direct intentionally. Not everyone who presents a wound deserves unlimited access to your care. Strategy 4. Heal the familiar. If chaos or inconsistency feels comfortable, that's important information, not a verdict on who you are, but a signal that something in your history is worth looking at with the right support. You were chosen because you had something worth having. Remember that, even as you learn to protect it. Subscribe for a new psychology video every week, because understanding people, including the ones who hurt you, is how you stop repeating the pattern.